breaking news this morning in the NFL, Greg, even though I feel like it's not so breaking. We knew it was going to come. We knew this was going to happen. Adam Schefter, just a little while ago, reporting that Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade from the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I think, like you said, and I even think Schefter alluded to this, that he had requested it weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's just the sort of finality of it. And basically this is the line of no return between the Texans and Deshaun Watson. Like, this is it's going to happen. He is not going to be a Houston Texan next year, or at any point in his career. He's done there. And if people say, well, he's just bluffing and this or that, look, Deshaun Watson is he's a very principled young man.
Yep.
He takes his words very seriously. He understands his impact. He understands when to wield it and when not to. And he has done so here. So he is not going to play. And if the Texans refuse to trade him, he will sit out. And actually, it's kind of a brilliant move by him and his agent to get that contract extension with the Texans last year, because if he didn't take his contract extension and say I think either he'd be going into last year of his deal or he would be under the franchise tag this year, the team would have all the control. They wouldn't have to trade him. If he sat out, he wouldn't get his year towards free agency. He would be very limited in his options. Now he has all of the options. Yep. And he has all the control, and he will sit out. He's made plenty of money. He got his signing bonus last year, thanks Bill O'Brien, and he's set for life. So he doesn't need to play football anymore. And if the Texans don't do what he wants them to do, then it's going to get really messy. The best thing for the Texans to do is to make a deal as quick as possible, move on from this, get your next quarterback of the future, and start the rebuilding and also healing process with Texans fans, because I don't know, a lot of them, and I know people down there in the Houston media, I don't know if they're going to get over this anytime soon. This is a disaster of epic proportions for the Houston Texans, and it all goes back to a little man called Jack Easterby.
It is catastrophic for that organization. There's so much to unpack, and I do think, for obvious reasons, there's a Patriots link with this story because of the people who are making the decisions down in Houston. First of all, Watson's contract. He signed the extension after year 3 of his rookie deal, which means he was heading into his 5th year this season in 2021. So they still have the 5th year on that contract, whoever trades for him, and then his extension kicks in. Secondly, when you look at this decision by Watson, people look at, and I've heard this during my radio show here in Virginia during the day, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7, ESPN Radio 94. But, doing the show, I've heard people go, oh, why is he just a petulant athlete? He's just being a whiny baby. And I'm like, first of all, if you know anything about Watson, that's not his comportment. It's not his makeup. It's not his character. This is somebody who is, from what I understand, the highest character dude that you could meet. On the field, off the field, does everything right. Everything right. This is a question of trust, Greg. The owner looked Deshaun Watson in the face, looked him in the eyes and said, you are going to be a part of the process. We are going to sit down with you and have you speak for the players and speak for that locker room. And nothing that Watson asked for. And by the way, Watson never asked Cal McNair to hire, quote unquote, his guy. He gave a list of suggestions and just wanted to be brought in to have a conversation with whoever they were going to hire so he could represent the players and let that person know what that team had gone through with Bill O'Brien and Romeo Crennel, et cetera, et cetera. And he's on vacation. He finds out via Twitter that the hire of Nick Caserio happens. He finds out that the suggestions that he made for head coach possibilities, Eric Bieniemy, Robert Saleh, those guys, Saleh not interviewed, Bieniemy interviewed much later in the process. I don't think coincidentally, after Watson's public beef got out there and we found out he wanted Bieniemy And that to me was Cal McNair going, all right, we'll talk to Bieniemy to make us look good. Like we're appeasing Watson. He knew that the whole time. Watson read it. Watson's gone. He's as good as gone. And it leads us directly into, because we have more about Watson and where he might end up, but it leads us into the other part of this breaking news in Houston, which is David Culley. I follow the NFL as closely as I think anybody. I watch a lot of football. Again, the day gig I have is pretty much, we treat it like a national show. I'm paying attention to everything that happens in that league. I couldn't tell you who the hell David Culley was until last night when he was hot. I had no idea who he was, what he had done, where he had been. I knew nothing about this guy. And all of a sudden, he gets named the head coach of the Houston Texans. He's never been, Greg, a head coach at any level. And we know how that worked out with, good old Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland. He's never been a head coach at any level. He's never been a coordinator in the NFL. You look at this guy's resume, and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, and he's 65 years old. He's been in football for a long time. There is nothing on this cat's resume that tells you he's an NFL head coach.
No, Nick, to tell you the truth, I didn't really know who he was. And I mean, I had heard the name, and I think I might have met him before, but seriously, some of the pictures that I saw the other day of him in different jerseys, different coaching shirts, like at different places, I'm like, wait, he was with the Redskins? Wait, he was with the Ravens? Wait, he's been all over the place. He is look, and I texted a couple people, be like, what's the deal with this guy? And everybody universally is like, awesome guy, just the best guy. Yeah, well, what kind of head coach is he going to be? And it's basically like, he's a great guy, awesome guy. Like that's what you get. And look,
he's got good energy, Greg. He's got great energy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what the Texans need. I mean, I'm never going to dismiss anybody.
Right. He might end up being a good head coach, but there's nothing on the resume. I mean, he was the Philadelphia wide receivers coach. Philadelphia's wide receivers, that core was awful. They never developed. They never got better. They brought in Terrell Owens, which made him look better as a coach, I guess, but that was T.O. That wasn't David Culley. And he's right now, you look at his most recent job, he's the passing game coordinator of a team that never passed, the Baltimore Ravens. We've watched the Ravens play, and we've said, my goodness, what if they had a passing offense? The guy who was responsible for that just became a head coach.
Yeah, I just think it's ridiculous, and I just think back to and this was my advice going back to when Nick Caserio was hired as GM. There was if Jack Easterby was really about what was best for the Houston Texans and his buddy Nick Caserio, he would have resigned on the spot and like just do it publicly and just go wherever you're going to go, South Carolina, wherever you're from, Georgia, whatever, and just sit at home and just talk to Cal McNair over the phone. Like, and talk to Nick Caserio over the phone. Like, resign publicly, but you're still getting paid. Cal McNair will pay you forever. Just stay home. Just make a big public show of it. That would have given them a chance. It would have given Caserio a chance. But, of course, this was never about what's best for the Texans or Nick Caserio. This has always been about what's best for Jack Easterby, from his exit from New England to what he's done in Houston, the Bill O'Brien stuff. It's all been about what's best for Jack Easterby. And now what's good for Jack Easterby has put the Houston Texans in the toilet.
I want people to absorb this. I want people to truly appreciate this. Cal McNair, the owner of the Houston Texans, picked Jack Easterby over Deshaun Watson. He picked Easterby over Deshaun Watson. Just think about that for a moment.